of the company and jump right into our presentation today. I want to welcome everyone and thank you for taking the time and setting aside some time to spend a few moments with us. A little bit about Xpertdoc. We're headquartered in Montreal, Canada. Our focus is completely on document output and customers' communications, those touch points between you and your prospects and your clients. And let's include our partners too. We have over 200 customers worldwide in various industries. Insurance, healthcare, manufacturing is a big one. 12 different countries around the world. We have great support, and we're based on the Microsoft platform. We were arguably the first to actually support the Word Open XML format when it first was released. Best-in-class support for Dynamics CRM, which we're going to show today, and SharePoint. Both out-of-the-box integrations are available. And we're listed as a top performer on Microsoft Azure. Solutions we provide, as you can imagine when you're talking about documents and document output and communications, we do batch, where we can do millions of documents. Interactive, you're on the phone with a client, you need to send out a document, I can create it on the fly with a push of a button, have that sent out. And we're also going to talk, and we support electronic signature. We're going to show a bit of that today. Francis? So just to highlight our presentation today, we're going to leverage the lead to close process as our platform to show the functionality of Xpertdoc as well as that tight integration with Dynamics CRM. We're working today, and our presentation today is going to be leveraging CRM 2013, but please note that we support all the previous versions also. So whether you're moving to 2013 or have moved already, we can work with where you're at today as well as work with you on 2013. Our solution is going to let you create professional documents, and those can be simple letters to complex contracts, multi-page documents, everything in between. We're going to pull data from the CRM entities and any entity, multiple entities, as well as put documents out on any of those entities at your end user's fingertips. We can also pull data from other outside data sources because, let's face it, CRM isn't your only source of data you're storing today. So don't fear, we can leverage all those data sources, pull them together to create that dynamic, professional, tailored document for you. We can obtain e-signatures. So we're going to show a little bit of that today, embedding an e-signature into the process, whether the person's sitting in front of you and doing it live with you, or they're remotely, you're talking to them, they're on their phone, they're on their laptop, they're in their office across the country or in another country. We're also going to touch base a little bit on all the different preferred channels. How do you distribute that work? You know, it used to be just we mailed things out or email. Well, let's face it, we're doing all those things today and more. So whether it's email, fax, print, text, creating PDFs, we're going to touch all those points today. So again, let's just sort of touch base here and do that 10,000-foot view. Here is the process we're going to leverage today, the lead to close process. And what we're going to see in the lead, we're going to talk about some marketing material. I've got a lead that came in, whether it's a phone call, an email, came to my website, and I want to distribute some pertinent marketing material to them that touches on the industry they're from. We're going to have a very successful sales process today, and it's going to happen in an hour because we're going to immediately move to an opportunity where I'm going to send out a personalized NDA. I'm going to ask for provide them the ability to e-sign that from their remote location, and that's going to lead us right into a quote where we're going to provide, again, a personalized proposal from the CRM interface right at my fingertips. We're going to have a highly successful quote because they're going to immediately go to close. And we're going to get in and create an SOW and then bill them by sending out the invoices. So that's sort of that high level, what we're going to do today. what we're going to show. But before we get into that, I do want to touch base on the fact that we can do any of these, any document within the CRM interface. So let's face it, we always sort of use the CRM differently. We each have cultural differences on how we set it up. Do I want documents at the account level, at the sales level, at the, where those are, where they're at in the interface? Don't have to worry about it. We can do simple, complex documents anywhere at any entity. And Francis, with that, can we jump over to the CRM 2013?
With my pleasure, Jim. Thank you very much. So I just want to talk a little bit about the new CRM 2013 interface. If you haven't seen that already, it's essentially the same functionalities that you had before if you're familiar with CRM 2011 or even CRM 4, but the main difference is that it's a touch-centric interface, and everything is much flatter than it used to be. So if you've been using CRM 2011 a lot, I'm sure that you've seen all of these pop-up windows pile up one on top of the other, and it used to be that it became a bit confusing. And if you try to use that interface using a touch tablet, was not exactly easy to navigate the left-hand pane and try and click just the right link and not the wrong one and all that. So CRM 2013 is really a touch-first user interface, which what they call the flat UI, and here is just a couple of nice dashboard, some actionable items. So this is again like your out-of-the-box CRM, just a new and fresh way of presenting it. Then when I want to navigate, so you see here I have my workplace, sales, marketing, service, setting, resource center. So these are all the same elements that used to be on my left-hand side menu, but that I can now access much easily with my big finger that otherwise was a bit challenging to put on that menu items. And then when I click, say, on sales, then the same thing at the sales level. Well, first off, it immediately brings me back to that first entity, and then I have all of these other elements, and then I can actually, in this case, I'm using my mouse, so I'm actually scrolling. But now, what I'm doing is, you see, with my finger, I can actually just access whichever, and then based on the speed at which I touch that interface, it will actually scroll and make me just very efficient at using that touch-based interface. Now let's go back to our lead to close scenario. Jim?
Fantastic. Well, you have us here already at sales and at account level, or actually at the lead information, sorry. So we're looking at Yvonne. Again, let's go with the scenario. She went out to our website, looked at some information, requested some follow-up. You'll notice we have a new window here for our templates. This is the Xpertdoc integration. You'll see that it fits right into the screen. It looks just like everything else. I'm looking at the data. Could you scroll up just for a second, Francis, just to show that all my other data that I'm used to seeing is right above it. All my contact information, any of the details. Again, depending on how each of you have set this up or are going to set it up, you'll see all that information. I'm an end user. I'm looking at that information. I want to send out some customized marketing material to her. So I just scroll down the window like Francis is. Immediately, I see this new output selection. I can flip through. And this can be set up individually for each client to based on their unique needs. But we can have a drop down of various templates that are available. I'll pick the one I want. In this case, I could pick specific industry. What do we want to go for today, Francis? Insurance?
Let's go insurance. Right. I like insurance. Insurance is good.
Fantastic. You can see so for our demo today, we gave some collateral checkboxes, so I could actually pick some. With this case, let's not pick any, but you could see how Francis can easily select one, many, all of them. We have various outputs. That's always a question. What are output options? Well, it's really an infinite list. We have quite a few in there today, various PDF, Word, but we can talk about that deeper later on. We're going to go just with Word, and do you want to go ahead and generate that, please? So while that's happening, we're going to go out and have this document open up for us live. We can look at it depending on how this operates. Some people might have it that it's all locked down. You just create the documents. Some might just have boilerplate and allow the end users to include some information. But you can see we wrote a very specific piece of marketing material here based on insurance. It's going to, talk to exactly what my prospect is interested in, hopefully, and we can get that and send that out immediately. Again, it's going to have all the information we want. Maybe I want to personalize it by add more, or maybe it's just stock marketing information. Let's just go and pick another industry to show that we can flip between them really quickly. Is that okay, Francis? Go ahead and manufacturing. Oh, you want healthcare? Go for it.
I do like healthcare, but let's go manufacturing.
That's fantastic. All right. So what you're going to see here is it quickly adapts to the industry you want. We can make this not only personalized with the information, pulling it out of CRM. Maybe we don't even give them a choice, and it grabs that information from what we collected if we do have that data up front. So here you'll see that now that's changed, and we're talking about manufacturing. So we're putting the power, instead of an end user, a salesperson, whoever's following up, whether it's inside or outside, going out to their C drive or a network drive or going over to a shelf to try to find the right material, you're going to have the latest and greatest marketing material that's been reviewed by your marketing staff, that has the proper branding, the latest company logo, the look, the feel. Think of how many thousands of dollars we all invest in this stuff. You're going to put that at your end user's fingertips. They don't have to wait for marketing to review it. You're going to have it there that all they can get is the latest stuff. Click of the button, it's out and ready to go. I could have this as, Francis, can you just say, talk to the fact that I could put this at one button, right, and just have them click the execute, and it automatically emails it out to the correct address, right?
Yes, actually, this is the one-click email, but you can even do the zero-click email, where as soon as, say, a lead is qualified, that it automatically is picked up by a workflow that will send the email automatically. So it's even zero-click if you want to.
Wow, that's even better than what I was saying. That's fantastic, and that makes all of our lives easier. We're, getting that immediately back, following up that lead, getting the information before they're out searching for the next company. So with that, let's move on and get to the opportunity. Let's say our marketing material has worked fantastically, and now we've actually moved to the point where it's an opportunity and I need to send out an NDA. So again, we can have choices. Maybe you have multiple types of NDAs. In this choice, we just have a standard one. I can select, as Francis has shown, you can select e-signature. Again, is it typed? Is it written? Meaning, are they on a remote device? Are they going to write on their fingertip? Are they going to use a typed response? We're going to do that and go ahead and pick the one you want, Francis, and go ahead and let's bring that up. Now we have an excellent partnership here with AssureAssign, which you'll see their technology. It's directly integrated. You'll see how the document will come up. It'll prompt them to sign the document. And Francis, do you want to talk a little bit about the e-signature as you're doing it?
Yes, absolutely. So everything that you see in that interface is pretty much configurable, including the branding, including the steps. What are the fields that get requested? Whether there are default values provided. You see here, it actually picked up Yvonne's name from the original lead, and then. You see, I can even ask her to complete some information that maybe was missing, and then that information that I'm going to be typing here, let's say she's head of sales, that can actually be brought back into CRM and adjust her profile and maybe even trigger further downflow workflows.
Wow, so not only can they sign the document, they can pass back data into the CRM system.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Exciting stuff. And that's helping me speed and expedite my sales process. I'm not only getting this document signed, but I'm getting updated information. So here you can see, can you scroll back up for 1 second there, Francis? Just as we're going through there, I want to show we didn't get a quick look at our NDA, but we can see that we pulled the data from CRM to update the company, her information, her email address, to the date, today's date. We're able to update that document appropriately and put that right into the agreement. Fantastic. Look at that. Okay. Now we're going to scroll down here to the bottom to see the signature.
What you can see in this signature is that you see that I have a timestamp and an IP address and a unique identifier. And if that document had gone through a proper process of having two signatories, then where each of them could have signed in parallel, no need to wait for one to be finished before the other one gets notified, then each of the signatures would have had their own timestamp and IP address from which it was signed and unique identifier. And these elements, plus the fact that AssureSign keeps a facility to authenticate that, yes, this is the actual original document that was signed and it was not altered afterward. This actually makes this as legally binding, if not better, than ink on paper or wet ink.
Francis, could I ask you a question about that? How do I know when it's been signed as a salesperson and I've sent this out?
Oh, that's a great question, actually. So one of the things that we do provide is an integration between CRM and AssureSign through the Xpertdoc solution. You see here I have an entity called, or a child entity called Xpertdoc Electronic Signatures. So when I pick that, what I'm seeing is actually all the electronic signature that were initiated for this account or for this opportunity in that case. And you see I had one completed sometime in the past and one was initiated today that is still signing step in progress, as you can see here. And then from that interface, what I can do is actually, I believe it's here, refresh the signature status. And now as a salesperson, because I want to know right away, or because maybe the customer called me, I just want to confirm, so I can actually just invoke it manually. But in a more realistic scenario, this actually get picked up by a back office process. So maybe every minute or every hour or every day, the system will go to the AssureSign platform and request the status of all those electronic signatures that have been submitted. And let me see what is going on here. Maybe.
So that's interesting. Could I then tie that to my workflow solution to update me that it hasn't been signed, or maybe send out an email follow-up to the client to remind them to sign that?
I mean, not only that, but you can also imagine things like having the production manager receiving an email notification or a task in CRM that will show up in his own dashboard, telling him that, hey, you know what, the customer just signed this document, and we are now ready to proceed to the next stage of either implementation or budget review or whatever is required. And you see here that now the interface is telling me that the signature has been completed. It was in progress. Now it's confirmed to have been completed. And what I'll do is I'll go back to my opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, this really makes my life easier as a salesperson. I'm able to have all this information here at my fingertip, and I'm expecting you're going to show us where we actually, what we do with that document after it's been signed?
Yes, actually, let me just see. Interesting. Now you know that it's a live demo because apparently I'm not seeing that notes. But what should have happened, oh, I know why. Here it is. I just, you know, that I'll be honest with you, that touch first and flat UI is going to be taking some getting used to. So I would say probably 60% through that process. And
well,
So now you
If
see
I
that.
know you, Francis, you probably were touching your non-touch screen with your finger trying to click that button.
Jim, what did
You're
I
too
told you
used to the
about not
touch.
sharing my secrets with the customers? Not all of them,
All
anyway.
right, but there you go. There's the documents. So we're automatically, as we mentioned, we have the ability to store directly into SharePoint. We've integrated with many of the content management systems out there, so no matter how you have your CRM installation set up and the technology you're using, we can actually connect all this together. So at this point, now that we successfully have done that, and we have all this information, I know you signed off, we're going all the way to the proposal at this step, right? So here we are. We want to put together a proposal, and they received our flyer, they're interested, they signed the NDA. At this step, we want to generate a document. Now, some of the things we might want to do with that proposal is include a cover letter, not include a cover letter. If we're including a cover letter, do we want to put the customer's logo on it? Maybe we cover multiple brands and we want to put a different logo depending on the brand, which again can be automatically pulled or not when we're doing this. So again, we have these choices of radio buttons, check boxes, automating the whole step, or giving people opportunities to select based on information they have at hand. We can allow them to put a customized message into that, or it can all be boilerplate from front to back. As Francis said, again, it could be a 0-click, and based on receiving the NDA, we automatically send out the proposal. There's different things we can do to automate and expedite the process, depending on the needs and the information at hand, the data we have. There's many opportunities out there. So let's open that document up and see that here's our sample quote. Let's minimize that one. There you go. So here we have our quote put together. If we scroll down there, Francis, could you just scroll down there a bit for us and see the different quote? Now, some of the things that we typically put in the quote, and again, each of us are going to do this a little differently, but you can see that we can have the various grids and charts, and say for instance, I'm not a blue person. Francis, maybe what's your favorite color? You don't want the chart color to be blue. We can actually change that and do something slightly different. You have all the tools at hand from within the Microsoft Word interface there. So
I really like red, personally.
Okay, it's a red day. I thought you were going to go with some Halloween colors today.
Oh, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Let's see if we have something here. Let's say black or orange. Let's go orange.
Let's go with the pumpkin, yeah. There you go. So again, you could see that we could personalize this information, customize it. Even though we have it automated and down and put at your fingertips, you can still allow those end users, depending on the situation, a little customization features. Allow them to take advantage of the whole Word platform and all the tool sets that come with it. So now at this point, Francis, do you want to go back and add a cover letter or a logo to that?
I was just thinking about that.
Okay.
So I selected here intro letter. Oh, here is a demo and webinar and the gremlins. So let's see.
I think you're trying to do too many things at one time, my friend.
I tend to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's Halloween. We all got a lot on our mind today. A lot of tricks and treats coming out there, right? So as this is generating, again, we have that ability to insert a customer logo, your logo, multiple logos. I know we have clients that represent multiple brands depending on what brand they're operating on. And again, that data can be pulled right from the CRM, but if it's not available, it can be a selection. A lot of times we're going to wire that in and pull that data, but you can attach various logos. Maybe I want to add additional marketing material based on the fact a lot of times you'll see this that You're purchasing this piece of equipment, and because you purchased that, you should also look at these 3 other pieces. So we can include those additional items lower in the document and go right on. So Francis, why don't we just move ahead with this since we've already done a quote. We have that out there. Maybe we'll move on to the fact that they've accepted that and we want to go right into an SOW. All right.
Yes.
So here we are. At this point, we're going to put together a statement of work and provide this to our clients. Go ahead and...
By the way, Jim, sorry to interrupt, but while we were not looking, the second quote actually came up.
Oh, there you go.
And
there's our other quote.
Here's a nifty little thing that not everybody might know about, is that you see I now have my documents side by side, and I can actually view them side by side so that when I scroll one, it actually scrolls the other. So I can compare my documents. And some of the things that I've changed here is that you see that I have this this logo of my customer that was embedded because I picked that option. You see here that on the right-hand side, it's a dear valued customer, very generic blah type of a message here. I said dear webinar, and obviously I was not too inspired with my pros here, but as you can see, I can actually personalize that message. And then when I scroll down, I actually have this page that was included before the quotes details, which is a very personalized introduction letter that was, as a salesperson, I just attached that document to a note at the opportunity level or the quote level in CRM, and that letter has been picked up automatically. That's as easy as that.
That's nice. I thought you would have included a picture of you in your costume there.
You can always dream.
All right. So that quote was highly successful, and we're going to go now to the account, and let's create a statement of work for them and generate that, which again is going to contain the ability to have that signed. We're going to include an e-signature in this document because I want to make sure that we get that acceptance right away. And as we showed you before, we have the complete audit, so I know as soon as that was accepted, we can move right to contract. Move right to installation and delivery of that, which could be tied to your workflow and updating others.
One of the things that I did here, I did throw you a curveball here, Jim, because I unchecked the execute signature, and I just wanted to show to our attendees that this is the document that would have been submitted to AsureSign for electronic signature, but what you'll see towards the end is that you see we have this meta codes. This is actually what's making the e-signature happen. You see the exclamation mark and pound, etc. So this is actually what gets injected by the Xpertdoc solution to make the tie-in between the CRM fields and the AsureSign platform. And now I'm just gonna, now that I've verified that everything looks fine, then I'm going to generate again, and this will potentially take a couple more seconds, because now we're not only generating the document, not only converting it to PDF because that's the format that I selected, but we're also submitting the document through the web to the AsureSign platform. And in this case, it's through the web, but of course, if a customer prefers to have the AsureSign platform installed locally, this is also something that can be accomplished.
That's great.
And what's different in the scenario that I'm going to be going through, remember the previous one that we did, I actually typed as in lieu of signing the document, because the law says that any mark, whether it's done with a keyboard or a pointing device, works. But if I do know that my customer has a pointing device, a touch screen or a smartphone, or if I'm doing that as a point of sale scenario, and then I do have a tablet available for my user to work with, then I can actually go ahead with that. And this is my John Smith impersonification.
Very good.
And oh, sorry, I was Yvonne. My bad. Actually, what I could do is I could actually go back in the process, and if I'm not even sure who I am, I can actually review the document first, and then go back to resuming the signing process, and then I could clear. And sorry about that, I was confused about my identity for a second. So I am actually Yvonne.
Well, it's
So I'm.
Halloween. You can be whatever you want today. Well, I
And
love the ease of use here, and the ability to pull data and push data also is very helpful to the process overall.
and I've now been promoted from head of sales to head of worldwide sales, which is even better.
Oh, there's a lot going on today.
It is exciting.
So some of the things we can do with these contracts, just SOW contracts, we can have variable clauses in the document template itself. So based on jurisdiction, the products, the clients, maybe where you're selling, we might update tax information, the calculations of cost, special rules, regulations. We can build all those right into the document template and pull that automatically. So each document is accurate and expedited. We can get it right in there. So anything else you want to touch on while we have this open, or you want to get back to showing the signature there?
Yeah, I just want to. So it's the same features that I pointed to earlier in terms of the timestamp and the IP address and the unique identifier, but then with the actual written signature as opposed to be typed.
For instance, one of the things we've run into, or I've heard a lot about recently, are people that work out in the field and are disconnected. And it seems to be a real hole in the marketplace that a lot of people want to take advantage of CRM, want to take advantage of, their salespeople are out there trying to close a sale, trying to, get a document, or sometimes it's, people, professional service staff on site doing work, and they need to get a client sign off, but they're disconnected. They don't have internet access because of the remoteness. We were recently talking about this. Do you remember?
Yes, yes.
And how to handle that.
It used to be that disconnected mode happened for people on the road, but that's less and less the case because most everyone now can get either a smartphone connected to the internet all the time, or even use tethering from that phone to connect even their laptop. Then there was also those working in natural resources, remote locations, but even that today with satellite technology, it's become even more easy to stay connected. But there are still those who work in very sensitive environments, maybe government facilities or things of that nature, where actually the salespeople are asked to leave either leave their devices at the door or at least have them disconnected from the internet entirely. And so one of the very exciting new scenarios that we are now able to support is signing through a voice process. So what we do is that we inject this document with a unique identifier, a number essentially, and then and a phone number. And when the salesperson is at the client site and they want the client to sign, all they need is a phone. And they call that number, and it's an IVR, so interactive voice system, and the customer essentially can say, yes, I approve this quote and whatever the questions that they that they need to answer to, and then by punching in the quote number and all that, and that gets recorded at the Assure Sign, or actually 3PV facility, and that is also as legally binding as having ink on paper. And then that voice recording and the whatever options that was selected through that IVR process can actually get pulled and attached to the CRM record also.
Wow, that's big. I know a lot of people out there really struggling with the fact they have all this technology, but they still have locations that they don't have internet connection for one reason or another. They can have all the remote devices in the world. They have a tablet. I'm out there, and I want to close this deal. Someone wants to buy something. I want to sell it. And being able to do that has been a real struggle for some people. But now, and it's also, it's sort of interesting. In fact, most of us do have phone connection everywhere, but we still don't have internet. So this does solve a big, corks a big hole out there. So that's fantastic. And any of the people in the webinar today that want to get more information about that, please reach out to us afterwards. We can talk a little more in detail about that. And we'd love to hear about situations or issues you're having and problems that we can help you solve with that. So fantastic. We have had an amazing sales day. Let's say that we're now done this. We've signed off. The contract's been accepted. Let's go to the invoice. Let's bill somebody. All right. So now we have our invoice selection. Francis is going to go ahead and generate that bill because every good salesperson knows that the deal isn't closed till it's actually been paid for. So let's get this taken care of. We're going to move on and open up. Now here, oh, you did have some Halloween spirit in you today, Francis.
I always do.
So is this, can you talk to me a little bit, Francis, about some of that promotion that we can do? What other things have you done and seen out there?
So what we're doing here in this invoice is what we call trans promo, which is really a transactional document, an invoice, that also a promotional piece. So when you think about it, in many instances, especially if you are in a services field, the only tangible element of your service or product that the customer has is the documents that you send them, whether it's the contract or the invoice or whatever. So those documents are really your ambassadors. They represent you, they represent your brand, but they also represent a perfect vehicle to embed some upselling and cross-selling material. And one of the things that we can do is look at, let's say, if that the document is already a full page and I don't want it to go to a second page, then I can decide to opt out automatically under promotion. But if there are only a few items in the page, as I have here, then I have a lot of white space that I can leverage. And based on how much space is available, I can actually pick which kind of advertisement or offer I want to provide. And maybe if there are 10 lines in my invoice, I'm going to just do a quick text promotion. But if I have just a few lines like here, then I'm going to add a nice image. And that image, that offer can actually be captured on the Xpertdoc platform as what we call a digital asset. Then you can have business rule that based on the purchase history of that client, based on promotions going on corporate-wide, maybe based on their industry they're at or their size or whatever their demographic element, you can actually have multiple promotions to pick from and even do A/B testing. So when you send an invoice with an offer which is text only, and then you send another invoice with the same offer but with a nice pumpkin attached to it, which one of the two invoices is more likely to generate an upsell transaction? So these are the kind of things that you can do, and you can become extremely creative in how you leverage, again, these documents as if they were part of your Salesforce.
That's great information. I'm thinking that we could actually put in there, maybe we have an upcoming webinar or some online training. It's great to take advantage of all these touch points that you're out there communicating with your prospects, clients, partners, letting them, sharing them information with them, reminding them of information, upcoming events, opportunities, additional products and purchases. That's really nice. At this point, we've gone through our invoice. Any other piece you want to show before we leave this screen or these screens here, Francis?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. At this point, let's flip back and sort of recap some of the pieces we've seen and talked about today. Again, some of the documents we saw today, flyers, marketing material, quotes, whether they're simple or complex, invoices, NDAs, contracts, and let's just say open your mind to everything else. There's many opportunities for us to upgrade, improve our documents. As our tagline says, better documents faster. Everything today is an opportunity to upsell or improve the efficiency in transferring information to our prospects, clients, and partners. No document is too complex or too simple, and none of them are, how do I say it? Every document is important, and every document should look its best before it goes out to leaves our company. So with that, let's sort of do recap over what we looked at here, Francis. So we started out with the lead, and again, in our example, we're talking about generating customized flyers or any of our marketing material we can put out there in our CRM at any entity that makes sense to you or your team. We can automate it completely, or maybe we don't have enough information to automate it, so we can put it at their fingertips so when they're following up or on the phone, they can generate documents based on industry, based on the size of the company, organization, a specific interest within there, maybe a niche. Maybe I'm talking to someone in insurance, but they're in claims, so I want to send claims relevant material. I don't want to send the claims guy information about underwriting. He doesn't really care about underwriting. He has a problem in claims he's trying to address, or maybe it's billing. I want to send them specific billing information. Think about it. Today it's a self-service world, but it's also people expect things fast and accurate. They know that you have a lot of data about them. They're trying to provide it and make quick decisions and move on just as quickly as you are. So you need to put relevant information out there. So from lead, we go to the next step. We talked about, we're going to show an example, as you guys saw, whether it was manufacturing, insurance, whatever it is. We have this customized information. We can change the material that's included in there. Maybe it has different pictures, different colors. Depending on how your marketing material looks, and how much interchanges between them, we can automate that whole step. We flip over to our NDA. So we've got that opportunity. The lead has worked. We want to get to the NDA. Again, I don't want just a generic NDA that now we're sending back 20 times. Let's send them one that's accurate. It has the exact information. It's personalized. It talks to the prospect and addresses the needs at hand. Further yet, we want to get that. Let's do the e-signature. Why do I want to wait for them to print it out, sign it, fax a copy back, mail back the other copies later? I want to get to business. They want to move ahead. So let's get that e-signature and automate this whole piece. Again, making it look nicer, making the process faster, and creating a better document. Quote. Sales process moving along fast again. So we want to get out there. Again, each opportunity to communicate with your client, it's a chance to impress them. We want to show they're actually listening to what they're saying, and we're actually reacting. We're treating them as an individual. They're not a number. So we're going to have that personalized, tailored proposal based on the information at hand. Go ahead and take a look at that. In our example here, we've included logos, as you saw, a personalized cover letter. Depending on how you're operating, maybe a photo of yourself, a photo of you in your costume like Francis, maybe a nice grid colored chart based on time of year. You want to do fall colors, you want to do Christmas stuff. You can put in a chart to show how it all is broken down, and maybe boilerplate documentation. And again, this could be very simple, or it could be broke down into more specific information about each one of the pieces that you're purchasing. The close, we've gotten there. We're done with the proposal. We're done. Everything's been accepted. We want to put together a contract. I want it to be accurate. I want it to have all the pertinent information based upon the jurisdiction you reside in. Is there special tax information, special rules or regulations we need to comply with based on the type of work. We can include all that in there, have it quickly executed while the person is interested, and get it out the door for someone to sign. From there, we go we're going to move right on from there to talk about, we've been doing this, as we said, we have 200 clients in 12 different countries around the world. We have plenty of references about people, how quickly they're able to get up and running. One of the fantastic things about our technology is it comes out of the box integrated with CRM. We can customize it and help you configure it to put the documents where you need them at the proper entity, as well as how much do you want your end users to automate the process 100%, or give them some choices to select different pieces and parts. Francis, do you want to add anything about these, what clients are saying out there?
No, I think the gist of it is that the Xpertdoc team will deliver on what we promise, and people are appreciative of how we support them, how the technology supports them, and how the technology evolves in response to their questions and their demands also.
I love the second quote here from Kyle. It seems an all too familiar situation for many of us historically, that aren't where we're at today, where, it takes an hour, maybe longer, to put together a quote, getting the right format. Is it going out in the right copy, or is it just the old quote I had from 2 years ago and I'm in a rush and I just grab it? But having that at a click of a button really does make the life of a salesperson much easier. And for sales management, your people are out there executing, getting quotes out the door accurately and efficiently. I think that's fantastic.
Some of the performance review that we got from our actual customers, I think FEI, they told us that creating a quote was 60 times faster with Xpertdoc than it was in their previous system. Prologis, which is a commercial leasing company, used to take 3 to 5 days to present a draft of a commercial lease to a potential customer. Now it's done in 20 minutes. CGU, which is a worker comp insurer in Australia, they actually estimated that the first template that they implemented with Xpertdoc saved them $500,000 every single year. And then they went on and implemented 149 other forms. So these are actual real life scenarios, real life customers achieving great results. Scott Redmond, the Husky IMS, they actually producing quotes in 10 different languages with hundreds of users all around the world connecting to their system, generating those quotes in all those languages, including Chinese and top down and right to left, and all kind of interesting and exotic character set. Again, just another great success story.
Yeah, those are great numbers, and I think what we'd all like to know, or realize, actually. So just to recap a few things, Xpertdoc works with both on-premise and SaaS. So whether your CRM solution, whether you're using on-premise CRM or the SaaS online, we work with both of those. We provide an on-premise or a SaaS-based solution. And to sort of, again, what this is all about is better documents faster, making your life easier, more efficient, creating more efficient, accurate documents, professional documents, and really focusing on your customers, using the data you're collecting and leveraging that to create accurate, personalized documents. And don't forget the e-signature. Some of the highlights and things we're talking about, and I'd love to hear you guys, your questions and follow up with us on remote access, some of the problems you're running into and how we can help you handle that with your documents and customer communications. Willie, Francis, anything you'd like to add before we move into questions and answers?
No, good for me.
No, good, Tim. Thanks.
Thank you, and I want to thank everyone else. Marlene, are you still with us? Would you like to move into questions and answers or anything we need to add?
Yes, there was actually one question that has come through, and the question is, where can the documents being generated be stored?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Actually, they can be stored pretty much anywhere that you would like, including multiple locations. Out of the box, the solution will either attach the document to the notes in CRM, as we've seen in today's demo, but it can also leverage the integration, the out-of-the-box integration between CRM and SharePoint. So the Xpertdoc document can be stored automatically in the SharePoint folder associated with whatever record it was created from. We can also, of course, put it elsewhere in SharePoint or another SharePoint. We can put it to a file system folder. We can send it by email, send it to a ECM, so a content management system, whether it's a FileNet or OnBase or Docfinity or whatever other system that you're using to store these images of document. So really a wide variety, and in some scenarios what we are doing is actually sometimes the same document will be sent out for printing at a third-party print vendor and also sent to an active folder, let's say in SharePoint, for quick access and review while the deal is in progress, and also sent to an imaging system. So all three being sent in parallel. So all of that is possible. I want to open the fact. I mean, we're sorry for asking people to send email. We apparently haven't figured out yet how to let you guys type in questions in the GoToWebinar interface. One thing that we have tested and works is that if you might have seen that there is a button in your GoToWebinar interface to raise your hand. So if someone wants to ask a live question, all you have to do is raise your hand using the GoToWebinar interface. If you do just raise your actual right arm, I will not see that, so that won't work. But if you do click on raise hand on the GoToWebinar interface, I can open the mic for you to ask your question live.
Francis, I'd like to ask you a question actually, because this is something that comes up and it's very real world. You know, so many of us are, especially larger organizations, are on older versions of operating systems, older versions of Word. Sometimes we're not all on the same version of Word in an organization based on the fact, you know, our IT teams are so busy and it takes so much effort to, you know, move them up and back. And sometimes we have an old solution that's another software application that requires an older version. So what Word versions do we work with?
So actually, there'll be three aspects to my answer. First is that in order to design the Xpertdoc templates, you need Word 2007 or more recent. And when I say more recent, I mean anything more recent, including 2013. And on that, you know that Word 2013 was made available to the public in January of 2013, so at the beginning of this year. But it was actually made available to Microsoft partners on July 15, 2012. And the Xpertdoc solution was rebuilt, and an update was fully tested and available in the afternoon of July 12, 2012. So essentially July 15, sorry, 2012. So on the same day that it became available to partners, we had that version of Xpertdoc Designer available for partners and clients to use. And the third answer to that question is that it doesn't matter all that much, because in terms of producing the documents, all the scenarios that we've seen today, we don't even need Word for that. You could just generate straight to PDF, and everything happens server side, either on-premise or on the cloud. And so your clients, your users could be on the Word 95 for that matter, and or not have Word at all installed on their desktop, and they could still be leveraging the Xpertdoc solution.
Fantastic.
Well, I think we're getting at the top of the hour, so if there is no other questions, I think we're going to bring this webinar to a close. Thank you all for attending, and we will make the recording of this webinar available online. And for those of your colleagues that you think might benefit from viewing this webinar in a live reenactment, we're probably going to reschedule that sometime in November, because we already are having requests for a second round of that webinar. So that'll be announced, and you will be made aware of that new date as soon as it is set. Jim, any closing word?
I just want to thank everyone, and thank you and Marlene and Willie for doing this today. It was exciting, and look forward to doing more. And ask everyone to stay, follow up with us and stay in touch with Xpertdoc, as we'll have more upcoming webinars and information that'll help them improve their lead to close solutions.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.